Is networking still worth it in 2025? I'm not talking about the corporate, cringy, let's connect and never speak again or pretend to be friends on LinkedIn type networking. I'm talking about the real networking that happens when you get to know people and when you aren't just catching people like they're a bunch of Pokemon and keeping them in your phone. What a fabulous game that would be, and if we can monetize it, that's a whole different scenario. But this is about building those relationships so that you can really grow and understand one another. Networking is an on-the-job type of skill, and it's one of those skills that you're not really taught. I mean, I did a business degree, and I can tell you now that I was not taught how to network, and I should have been. That should have been a module, because that is the most crucial skill that you're going to require in the future. According to LinkedIn's skill report in 2025, relationship building is the #1 skill. Even beyond learning how to use artificial intelligence, even though that's absolutely taken over the world. But that's because as people, we want to get to know people. We want to work through people. 80% of our recommendations come through people. With that being said, when I first started networking, it was not cool. I was not cool. I'm still not actually cool, but you know, that's a completely different conversation. It was icky, it was cringy. I think I would go up to people and just brain splatter everything that I was or I wanted to be. Or I went to an event last year, and this is not my story, but I went to an event and I was doing the conference and my business had a stand. I run a careers consultancy and we support early talent and entering and thriving in the workspace. But anyway, people came to our stand and was like, what do you have to offer me? Can you give me a job? And I'm like, wow, we've actually lost the skill of networking, or the skill of building a relationship, or the skill of just getting to know one another. And that's basically what it is. It's having a conversation and building a community and not going on with an ask, but really understanding how we can support someone else too. With that being said, networking is not transactional. It can be, but that's old school networking. New school networking is not. New school networking is sharing knowledge and building your networks. That's literally the game that I'm in. Networking has helped me significantly. It's through networking that I have a book. And this book has chapters on networking. I'm not here to plug, I'm just here to tell you that networking has changed my life. It has gotten me a TED Talk. It has helped me launch a business. It has doubled my salary. It has landed me a gig as a BBC presenter. And recently I've been doing a lot of content around networking, and I kid you not, every week I land like paid opportunities because people are lurking and they want to know and they want to take that back into the organization or their day-to-day life, but they don't quite know what they don't know. So let's break it down. Business networking is not knowing everything, and it's not having the most connections. It's about building meaningful relationships with the relevant people. If you think backwards, in 12 months, where do you want to be? Where is your audience? Who are the people that you want to connect with? Not to land something, but to learn from them and to listen to the conversations and to lean in. Use tools like Dice or Eventbrite to find events online and join them. And when you do join them, you're there to learn, take notes. In the chat function, introduce yourself. My name is Sonya. I run a business. I'm looking for support on how to grow my YouTube. In return, I can help you how to network in your career, whatever it might be, right? And then you connect with people towards the end. Hey, this was a really interesting conversation. I'd love to connect with you. Here is my LinkedIn code. Here's my email. Here's my website. Here's what I'm looking for, but here's also what I can offer. Let's stay connected. And that is purely what it is. There's also the 3-2-1 rule, which I created, and that's more for in-person networking. So in any given situation, you talk to 3 people. Of those 3 people, you connect with 2 and you follow up with 1 every month for a virtual coffee or a call. And you ask them questions. What's your goal for the next 12 months? How can I help you? What's the last book that you read that inspired you? What is a workplace myth that you want to debunk? What does good networking look like? You get to know them as people, because people want to buy into people. That's 12 to 36 new conversations and connections every single year, because 80% of your opportunities come through your network. Why would you not invest in that level of networking? Networking helps you get your foot in the door, understand what the trends are, connect with the relevant people, build your reputation over time, lean into real world experiences, and feel more confident in navigating your next step. But in order to network, you're gonna have to get a lot of things wrong, and that's completely fine. How do you start networking and feel less awkward? Well, you start small. You don't need to go to the events. You don't need to slide into people's DMs where you don't feel comfortable. Start by thinking about where you want to be in 12 months and what kind of topics those individuals or businesses might be interested in. Use online mediums and follow the hashtags, follow the relevant businesses, follow the creators. When you feel passionate about something they've said, interact with them, like, share, comment, engage, and then eventually build up your confidence in terms of sharing your own opinion and insight, commenting, sliding into someone's DM and saying, that was a really interesting point you made. Here's an article I read that I'd love to push your way. Do you have 10 minutes for coffee or a call on Thursday at 3 p.m. to discuss 1, 2, 3 points? And show real interest in people and what already is out there. As an example, currently I am obsessed with Emma Grede, just like most people, and I am liking all of her stories on Instagram. I'm responding to them. Sometimes she responds back, which is a big win for me. She might not know who I am right now, but I'm trying to sow those seeds to be like, look, I'm taking interest. I know what you're talking about. I don't just want to slide into your DM as a random stranger because you have nearly 1 million people who are trying to talk to you, but I want to give you something in return. And recently there are 2 people that I got back in touch with, which actually I wanted to grab a coffee with them and it didn't work out, but I read a book and I thought of them when I was reading this book. I don't have the book here, but the book was called Having and Being Had. And it was life essays about this academic who is flowing through a state of life and navigating different challenges. But anyway, based on the content they were sharing online, I thought it'd be really relevant for them. So I sent them an email and said, look, this book I'm reading is making me think of you. I think that you could add it to your book list. And should you have 15 minutes for a coffee to talk through the book, I'd love that in the future. Both replied saying they were mega busy, not an issue, but it's about what value are you giving? And can you do it in secrecy? Can you do it in private? You don't have to tell the whole wide world that you're trying to do this with this person or trying to connect with somebody. It's about just shooting your shot, but in a really strategic way. And so that's my point, is skip trying to land that job and skip trying to just cold message someone that you are uncomfortable with. Warm leads, people you are interested by, podcast individuals that you are reading, podcast individuals that you're watching online, authors of books that you have read, businesses that interest you. That's where you start because you're already engaged in what you are consuming. And the most important thing out of all of that is that if you are connecting with someone and they've responded back, please follow up. People are busy. They're not ghosting you. They're not actively trying to not respond to you. They want to build that connection. That's why they have connected. But people are busy. And sometimes you look at a message and you're like, oh, I think I've replied, but you absolutely have not replied. If that's the case, keep in touch. We had a intern last year. He met me about 12 months prior to that and followed up every month just in my DMs. He's a student, so he wanted career advice and workplace advice and just wanted to stay in touch. I made it really clear that I wasn't in the country and so I wasn't able to meet. But when we had an exhibition and I was looking for 2 interns paid with experience, he is the first person I thought of because I know that that's what he was after. And straight away, through his network, he landed a gig. Work experience in his CV, real life connections, and was able to really build his confidence. That's the kind of networking I'm talking about, is think long game, not short term. Keep in touch with someone. They are watching, they are reading, they are acknowledging, even if in that moment they can't do something about it, eventually they will. Is networking still worth it in 2025? Absolutely. But we are no longer networking for show. We're not transactional networking. We are building our knowledge. We are building our networks. We're building our community so we can build our confidence. We are getting to know people as people because we really don't want to be interacting with robots and thinking about and losing that trust or connection. Networking is not about being the loudest in the room. It is about being the consistent. It is about being the most consistent. It's about adding value. And it's about waiting for the right opportunity. And the right opportunity will come. There is no way that it won't come. It's just you have to wait it out a little bit. So yes, networking involves patience, but it also involves people. And trust me, as people is what we're good at. This is a question that I'm often asked. I hope that I have responded in a practical and personable way. Should you have any more questions, you can ask me anything. So slide into my DMs, drop me an email, add it into the comments below. And should you want to learn more about networking, which I think you do, you can grab a copy of my book, Unprepared to Entrepreneur. It has so many chapters around networking. You can subscribe to the LMF Network newsletter and you can stay in touch. My name is Sonya Barlow, author, presenter, and entrepreneur, and I literally network for a living.